Hi there, it's Pamela here again in the art. I have a lovely sequence for you today. It's another animal sequence, and this is based on the animals and the creatures that I found in my garden. I don't know about you, but I'm missing my friends, and I know with you being out of school and at home most of the time, you're probably missing your friends as well. So when I go out for a walk, I sort of chat to the animals and I like looking at the different creatures that I find. So I thought, why don't we do a sequence based around those animals? So the first one I have for you is, at this time of the year, we begin to see our lovely butterflies. Do you remember the butterfly pose? We hold our toes and we bring our feet together. And then we sit up nice and tall, we flap our wings and we start to flutter. So it's easy to remember this pose because there's a little poem with it. Hold your toes and bring your feet together. Flap your wings and start to flutter. Hold your toes, bring your feet together, flap your wings and start to flutter. And when we flutter, we can imagine that we're flying. I've seen lots of really nice butterflies around lately. I don't know if you've noticed ones, the orange tipped ones. They're white with orange tips. They're really, really pretty. So I'm going to close my eyes. You can do the same and think about what colour butterfly you would love to be. Keep flapping your wings and imagine that you are that butterfly and you're flying around a meadow of beautiful wildflowers. Your wings are so light and the air is so warm and soft. Oh, being a butterfly would be so lovely, wouldn't it? So that's our butterfly pose. Remember when you're sitting in butterfly pose not to slouch down. So you've got to keep a nice straight back and your shoulders away from your ears, not all crouched up here because that's really uncomfortable. So a nice light feathered butterfly. Okay, the next one we're going to do is cat and cow pose. The reason I put these together you'll see because they're kind of similar. So we're going to come onto all fours. If you live in the countryside, you'll probably see a lot of cows when you're out for your walk. And this time of year, there are plenty of calves to be seen. So the mummy cows are filled with milk and their udders are sort of draping towards the floor. So if you can imagine your belly full of milk, your tail pointing up towards the ceiling. Your front legs are nice and strong and long. Lift your head up and say, what do cows say? Moo. So this is really nice for your back because you've got this lovely dip in the middle of your back. So imagine your belly button is really heavy with milk. So you let it fall down and your bottom sort of points up towards the ceiling like the cow's tail. Okay, from here we're going to change it into cat pose. Now cats, as you know, when they get a fright, they tend to roll their shoulders and their backs up towards the sky. So if you can sort of do that by pressing on your hands, raising your shoulders up and dip your chin down low so that you get that lovely rounded look on your back, like an archway. Really good. So there's cow, and then cat. The next pose we're going to do, I'm sure you're familiar with it. Curl your toes, get ready. We're going to come up into a big downward dog stretch. So lifting our knees off of the floor, push back so that your tummy is resting on your legs. Keep your hands where they are with your fingers nice and wide and then press your tail up to the sky and come down onto your heels. Lovely. You can bend one leg and then the other just to open up the backs of your legs. Really get into this stretch. Sometimes it can feel very tight up here, but that's okay. The more we exercise, the warmer that becomes and it becomes more flexible. So this is your lovely dog pose. Downward facing dog. Look up towards your belly button when you're in this pose and that makes your back stretch even further. Lovely. Come back down onto your knees. There's another animal that Well, I have to admit it doesn't really exist round where I live, but I do like this pose. It's called dragon pose. From here, you're going to bring one foot up beside your hands. So do you see the way? I have my flat hands on the floor and one flat foot in between. Okay, dragon pose is really nice to use, particularly if you're feeling a little bit annoyed or upset or angry with someone. This is just the best because you can let all the fire come out of your mouth and into the air rather than shouting or saying something horrible to somebody. So here's how we do it. We're like this with this foot flat on the floor, 2 hands down. You can point the toe at the back. And then with a big breath in and lift your big arms up. This is going to be your big dragon neck. And then as you breathe out, imagine your big frill. You know, sometimes a dragon has a big frill around its neck. So we're going to breathe in to lift up, and then we're going to twist to one side to let the frill open out. Let's try it on the other side so that you can see what I'm doing. So coming back into all fours, we're going to take the other foot now and we're going to place that flat between 2 hands on the floor, flat foot. I'm going to breathe in to bring my big long neck up. And then as I twist to open towards the bent knee, I'm going to stick my tongue out, arms out wide for my big frilly neck. And I'm going to stick my tongue out as I go, dragon breath. You can imagine all that fire coming out of you. Okay, brilliant. Let's bring both hands back onto the floor now. Come down onto 2 knees. The next one couldn't be further from a dragon. The next pose is your worm pose. There's lots of worms in the soil, as you know, and they're really, really important in the soil. And what I like about worms is the way they move. They don't have hands and legs. They sort of just crawl around like this in a sort of a wave motion, like a snake. So from here, we're going to try and do worm pose. What we do is we're going to bend our elbows, but not out to the sides like this, because that hurts. If you can sort of twist your arms or turn them, keeping your hands in place, but turning your arms so the outside of your elbow is facing forwards, like that. That might take a little bit of getting used to. And then your elbows will bend in towards your body, you see? Not out like this, but rather turn your arms, elbows facing out, the insides of your elbows facing out, and then bend your elbows in towards you, bringing your chest and your chin towards the floor, and then you can sort of slide forward like a worm. Let's try that again. We're going to come back, leave your hands flat on the floor, leaning back to sit onto your heels, and then we're going to come down like a worm, bringing our tummy, chest to the floor and look up. Let's try it again. Squirming like a worm through the soil. There we go. Lovely worm pose. And finally, another one of my favorite creatures in the garden, we're going to come into ladybird pose. So ladybird is take your bottom back up into the air, bring your toes together at the back, let your bottom rest down onto your heels, tummy resting onto your legs, and then take your arms away. Curl up like a tiny little ladybird. Drop your head to the floor. Let your shoulders fold down around your body. And you can make that lovely curved shape like a ladybird. And this is a nice place to rest. When you rest like this, like a ladybird, or it could be a mouse pose either. When you rest like this, you can actually feel your breathing going into your back, which is a nice feeling. So let's stay here and take 4 little ladybird breaths. Ready? Breathing in. Can you feel it in your back? And then breathe out. Breathe into your back. Then breathe out. Again, breathing in through your nose. Feel your back rising and breathe out. Last one, breathing in and out.
Then very, very slowly start to curl your ladybird body up towards the sky, little by little. Chin comes up last. Let those shoulders come back. Bring up your chin and shake it out. That's great, well done. So now we're going to just put it all together in a sequence. Okay, so you can follow me, and then you can practice it over and over again, because you can rewind this video and go back to it and play it over and over again until you get used to it. So let's start. Butterfly pose. 1, 2, 3. Butterfly. And then, crossing over your ankles, roll forward onto your knees. Let's come into cow pose. Back to dog pose. Dragon on the other side. Breathe in. Fire breath. Worm. And ladybird. Slowly coming up. Shoulders back. Chin up. And well done. So that is your latest sequence. So you have plenty of practice to do there. Keep moving, keep breathing, and remember, after you've done your sequence, rest somewhere flat, lying down, and let all the muscles of your body come to rest. Try to stay very still. Close your eyes. And notice how your body is feeling. Notice what it's like when everything becomes really, really still. Even if your fingers and toes want to jump up and down, see if you can just hold them really still. Feel every part of your body softening and sinking down towards the floor. Notice how your breath is slowing down. Notice how every part of your body is still, except for your chest and tummy, moving up when you breathe in and sinking down as you breathe out. Breathing in as it rises up and breathing out as you sink towards the floor. And you can stay there as long as you like. Being still is as important as moving. Let your body rest
You don't have to go to sleep. Just let your body be still every now and then check in with all of your body. Your toes, your legs, your knees, your hips, your tummy, your back, your shoulders, your chest, your neck, your face, your hair, and check in that everything feels good. It was lovely to have you join me today. Enjoy the video, practice as often as you like, send me a message if you need to on the WhatsApp, and I'll be back in touch with you again soon. Namaste.